Hello and welcome to the Inspiration Hub. Now, today I have two powerful guys here with me. I have a gentleman that you know, a renowned comedian in Kenya, a renowned philanthropist in Kenya. YY is here with me. How are you, my brother?
Salama bro.
Yes.
Uko sawa?
Niko sawa kabisa.
Si suti imeweza bwana.
Of course, the sit afadhali. Of course, now that is Kiswahili here in Kenya. We say, you know, of course, you can Google. Now,
Suti imeweza.
Suti
the
imeweza.
suit has managed.
Not actually managed, the suit is a fantastic one. Anyway, now, I have YY here with me, and today we are going to talk on a very controversial topic. Now, the gentleman that I'm about to introduce is a renowned financial expert. If you want to come out of debt, this is the person that you need. He will speak a word like this that can transform your financial life. I've never had anyone speak on finances like this gentleman does. He listens it with such humor that makes you consume it without feeling like the serious topic that people talk about. Roy Okonji is here with me. My brother, I respect you with due respect. The way you handle the issues of finances is so profound.
Wow.
And I'm so privileged to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mr. Roy Okonji, please tell them who you are and what you do so that at least they get the deep aspect of it.
Wow. Hello everyone. My name is Roy Okonji, as you've heard. Roy Okonji is a debt and money management coach, a trainer and a published author. That means that I regard myself as a teacher, only that I don't teach in the school of academia. I teach in what I call the school of life. The school of life is a gathering or a session such as this, where we come together to reflect on the realities of life on the ground. I've heard you say kwa ground vitu ni different. So we come together to just reflect on certain truths of life, the way no one else has talked about, the way no one else wants to talk about, but sometimes the way we must talk about. So aside from speaking and training and coaching one-on-one, I also run what I call the debt clinic. The debt clinic is an arrangement where we get to sit one-on-one and just get to listen to your story, get to encourage you, because it's a journey I have traveled myself. Some of you might have heard about my story, my struggles in the world of money. I've said it in the media many times. I'm still looking for my match in terms of financial recklessness. I've been a wreck in the past, and therefore I use that experience to also encourage others, to also just give others energy. You don't have to think about suicide just because you owe 10 people, 3 people, 5 people. Sometimes there could be something that you can do. Sometimes if you hear about what others have been through, you might get some energy to confront what you are going through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother, for that profound introduction. Why?
Yes.
They may need to know more about you, more than I've said. Please tell them something about why.
I'm a comedian and an entertainer. And I love speaking and engaging myself in meaningful conversations like this one. Yeah.
Profound. Now, Mr. Okonji, you gave me your book, and the following day I was traveling actually. Then someone saw me that book and paid me money to have that book. So I comforted my mind that I know Roy Okonji. I'm going to get the book, and I must confess that I need to get that book because someone saw that book and took it with minimal delay. You've authored a profound book. Why is also an author? Of course, the book is yet to be published. 2. Yes, 2 books actually.
Yes.
One on relationship. Actually, both of them on relationship
And life.
Actually, in general life.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm also an author anyway. See beyond the obvious is after there, and of course, you know the cost for becoming. Mr. Roy Okonji, you are on records saying that anyone saying that the salary that he's getting from his work is his money, is actually a criminal that should be sentenced to death or something.
Arrested.
Should be arrested. Now, please,
Yes.
why would I work earn salary, then be arrested for what I've earned legitimately? Tell us, because you should be arrested instead.
Thank you. That's a profound statement. I did not just wake up and make that statement.
Yes.
It came as a result of my reflections about wealth creation. I was wondering for a long time, how come some of us are struggling financially, but there are some people whose financial life just seems to tick, and everything about their money story just seems to fall in place. And I started thinking deeply about this shortly before COVID came. And I was trying to answer the question, what is it that could be different between those people and the rest of us? So I've taken time to associate with people who I would call affluent, who I would call wealthy.
Yes.
Some of them would be people I would say seem to be wealthy, but they are not. Probably they're just rich. There's a difference
yes.
between the two.
Yes.
Richness is just a measure of your financial or material accumulation at a particular time.
Yes.
So after this interview,
Yes.
you might have come here without money.
Yes.
And then at the gate there, you stumble on a bag of money. If we measure your possessions, financial material that time,
Yes.
then we will call you rich.
Yes.
But now wealth is accumulated over time. It's a
Okay.
result of a process.
Yes.
So that's when I started studying how wealth is created. And in my thinking, I figured out that for wealth to be created, money must be allowed to walk through 3 stages.
Okay.
Sometimes I call them 3 boxes.
Yes.
The first box is the box I call the box of money acquisition and management. That's where everyone is. Anyone who wakes up and does something and gets something is in that box.
Yes.
You are acquiring money. So
acquisition.
yes, the money that you receive comes in that box. So
Yes.
it is the biggest box in terms of composition. It has all of us that are economically active.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That box is also the busiest. That's where you get to make your decisions, your choices. It is in that box where if you handle your money recklessly, then you become what they call a hand-to-mouth kind of person. I was that person for a very long time.
Yes.
Okay? Now, it's because you might never know that there are other 2 boxes existing, because your money comes and you utilize it, and many times you will realize that money starts becoming inadequate for you. So in that box, if you make blunders, you find yourself borrowing for consumption. Okay? Now, so the secret would, anyone would ask, so what should we do in that box for us to be able to discover the other 2 boxes?
Yes.
The secret I realized is that we must then acknowledge that the money we receive in that box
Yes.
is supposed to sustain us,
Yes.
but beyond sustaining us,
Yes.
a portion of it must be deliberately pinched and put aside to form part of seed for future multiplication.
All right.
That is something many of us were never told.
Yes.
So we just started working and we thought this money is for sustaining us. Many times people will ask you, is what you're earning enough to sustain you?
Yes. But be it.
Yeah, so the question many people keep asking is whether what you're earning is enough to sustain you.
Yes.
All right? And so that might make us begin to think that what we earn should just be sustaining us.
Yes.
Yet, as I've mentioned, the secret is in you being able to deliberately pinch a portion of that you earn, put it aside to form part of the seed for future multiplication. So that takes me to the second box. After you have deliberately chosen to pinch, and you begin to pinch to retain part of it through savings, right? So you're choosing to, part of what you earn, to put it aside. Now, if you choose to save, then I like saying you have to save before you spend, because money refuses to remain to be saved after spending.
Money refuses to remain to be saved
After spending. Because many of us, once we receive our money, we have the tendency of saying, let me spend, what will remain, I will save.
Yes.
Then you realize that it has refused to remain. You might actually start living thinking that savings is a hoax. Right?
saving is a hoax?
Yes.
Please define for us what you mean by the hoax in this case.
You see, you might think that that these people are selling to us things that are not practical.
Yes, yes.
All right?
Yes.
The gospel of savings refuses to make sense to you.
And why I'm waiting for you in that area?
And before you even are able to process things like investment, you must first process simple things like saving, right? Retaining some money. So that's the second box.
Yes.
Now, the first box we said is the largest.
Yes.
Sadly, only a handful of people are able to come into box 2.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, those that come into box 2,
Yes.
a big chunk of them also don't know why they save.
Yes.
Probably they just heard someone say it is good to save money. They are better than those who don't. But it's also good to know why you are saving, the purpose for your saving. If you know why, then the drive is stronger. And you can actually even decide how much that will help you achieve the goal.
Yes.
Okay. Then, after I have told you this, I also come to disturb you,
Yes.
to remind you that there's nothing interesting in just keeping money, for you to be looking at it, oh, I am saving, I am okay, me, I have saved, I'm fine.
Yes.
Piling money to just look at it is dangerous in the world of wealth creation, because that money suffers two things. One is inflation. You might be happy that the money is still there, right? I'm a former banker, and when I was still at the bank, there was a time I served at the customer care desk, and I saw a certain group of customers. They would come to the bank every day. They're not coming to transact, to check balance. So every day they would be coming, niangalilie balance, niangalilie balance. Later on, when I think through, I see people who feel happy that their money is still there. But you know, that money might have been buying 10 breads last year, but today it can only buy 5 loaves of bread. You realize? So then you might be happy. The value, the figure is the same, but the value has come down. Number two, that money risks the temptation of you spending it. You and I know what happens when you have some little money that your hands can get to. Needs start coming, phone calls start coming. You get?
You only need to write
yes.
a small email for 24 hours.
Yes, and you start justifying, you know, this one looks, yeah, I think I should, and then you break into the account, and that's it. What am I trying to say? I'm saying every coin needs to be sent. No money should be allowed to sit idle. Every coin needs to be sent to call for more money. That takes us to the box of money multiplication, okay, where you are sending your money to go and call for more money. That happens through the process you've called investment. This thing that people love hearing. You know, if you call for a meeting and people are not coming, just tell them we are talking about investment. They will come. Okay, so that's the third box. When you send money to work, you're expecting something called returns. They go to pour into the first box. So it's usually a triangle. So that makes the first box bulge. Initially, if it had only one income called salary, now it might have another income, either called dividends, called interest, called profit, depending on where you send your money to go and work for you. Now, so let me come back to the arresting bit.
Yes.
I needed to give. Yes, I needed to give that.
But why get this one? Because I wanted to comment about it.
I needed to give this background so that someone might understand. You see, we rush into talking about how to manage money. If you don't know why you need to manage money, then the conversation of money management will not make sense.
All right.
Okay, so I say, we must begin by realizing if you have acknowledged that process, then this thing of people calling their salary their money. You know, the money you call your money is money you have power over.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
If you call something yours, it's yours.
Like my salary is now
Isn't
my
it?
money like this.
If this money is yours, that means you can wake up tomorrow and say, I was holding this money to buy bread. Now I'm changing my mind. I want to use this money to buy item X.
Exactly.
That is your money. But now let's see the salary people are earning, or the income people are earning, even business people. When that money has come, let's see the power you have to change your mind. Are you able to say, in this house, we are not going to buy food for the next 3 days or 4 days or 4 months? I've changed my mind. The money that was to be for food, I'm going to use it to buy something else. That is not possible. Money for school fees. Can you say, I'm not going to pay school fees for my children for the next 2 terms? It is my money. I'm changing my mind to do item X. You understand? That's the logic now behind it. So that tells you that the money we get, most of it for many people, is actually coming to just go to pay the people who offer services to us, to pay bills. So it's not our money. The fact that it comes in your name does not make it your money, because you don't have rights. Your salary account just becomes a transit account. I call it a transit account, where money only comes to report that I also passed through here as it goes to the hands that are waiting for it. So you can't claim that that is your money. So which one becomes your money? The money that becomes yours is money that you deliberately pinch deliberately before you spend and put it aside. That money is yours. If you are saving, for example, let's say even to go for holiday, okay, at the end of the year, that money is yours. If December comes and you think things have changed, you might say, I was saving for holiday, but the way things look like, I'm not going for holiday. I'm using this money to do this other thing. And I have said, the holiday people will not come to your house to tell you, hey, sir, we saw you were saving to come to our hotel. Give us that money. It's not theirs. You understand? That's why I say, you actually need to be arrested for claiming that the salary that comes to your account, just because it's bearing your name, is your money. It is not. Until you deliberately choose, out of that money that has come,
Yes.
to put aside some that you call your own.
Yes. So salary, my friend, thank you so much. In fact, take 5 on that note.
I have taken.
Oh, that is so profound. Guys, if that has not transformed your mindset, oh, I don't know. Like I told you, I'll be bringing powerful guys on this platform to come and transform lives. Now, why?
Yes.
I called you here because I know you as a personal friend,
Yes.
and I've seen you touch money, and I've seen you do a lot of things. Things that people can see with money.
Yes.
You've built a fantastic house for your mother, which is profound, and congratulations for that. Apart from that, you've been doing charity works. You've been building houses for people people who have been in, people living in squalor. Like the latest one is a gentleman who was living in a house which had no roof. Out of compassion, you went there and built a permanent house for that. For that person, and so on. You paying school fees left, right, center. Did you do any course to do with finances, or how did you get the financial acumen to help you do such?
I think me I learned through experience. Experience, and before experience teaches you, you must fall.
Yes.
You must fall before you get an eye opener. Eye openers are not just somebody. There's nobody who will just approach you and be like, you know what, hey, you need to save, you need to do this. Something. Let me get this off your. Sorry. So something will really happen to you that will open your eyes. Some of these eye openers they disguise in form of either addiction.
All right.
Either addiction.
Yes.
Or bad relationships.
Yes.
Or bad friendship. And a few of these things, this entertainment.
Yes.
Okay? Now, other eye openers are also our upbringing.
Our upbringing, yes.
Upbringing is also an eye opener. If you look at where you've come from and you ask yourself, do I want to continue staying here or do I want to move forward?
Exactly.
That becomes an eye opener. So some people, like some of us, even if my eyes never opened, regardless of where I came from, my eyes still never opened until I needed a second eye opener. Smart people open their eyes by where they came from.
Yes.
Or they say that you learn from other people.
Yes.
If you are smart, you learn from others. You don't wait for the experience to hit you.
Yes.
Yes.
Where did you learn from?
From my own experience.
That's
From my own
correct.
experience.
Yes.
In as much as growing up, we didn't have money. We didn't have money. Like it was not there. Let me be honest with you. Even paraffin for worth 20 shillings, we could not afford. Okay.
Yes.
So I grew up wanted to change the life of my parents, the life of So the time we went, I was a youth leader back then. I know you want to laugh. I was a youth leader.
Yes.
So because of the spiritual nourishment that is ordained in me, I was told to go and walk in families to spread what I have.
Yes.
So that families can be inspired.
I was going to preach. Recently when we were...
I was preaching in houses, to. So I went to one of this house for a church member, and I was like, they had a tap water inside the house. And it's running. Like you guys have told, go wash your hands, and then they don't have to come with jugs. And I'm like, I would like my mom to live in such a house. But where will it start? So where will this start? So I came back home and told my mom, hey. And also one of the things also is you must first of all see it.
Yes.
You must be able to see it in your mind.
Exactly.
So I saw it. So I came and told my mom, hey, I saw like in Jerry's house. I would have to build your house like that one. I just said it as a statement. That was back then. So some of these things, for you to implement them, you do not need a lot of money to do things.
What do you mean? Now wait, why? Because I don't want us to be hypocritical.
Yes.
And Mr. Konji also comment about this.
Yes.
He's telling me that to build a house,
Yes.
I don't need a lot of money.
Yes.
While I know that there are a lot of people
Yes.
who don't have houses because they don't have the money. What do you mean, my brother?
Let me illuminate you.
Yes.
To build a house, you need a lot of things.
Yes.
Cumulatively.
Yes.
So the problem with most of us, we look at the cumulative budget. Okay?
Yes.
We look at what do I need to complete this house, not
Yes.
what do I need to start. So most of the time we have everything to start, but we are like, I don't have what it takes to complete. So we are always focused on the completion rather than starting. Starting a house, building a house worth 5 million starts with a cement, one lorry of cement, and then another lorry, and another lorry, another lorry. Do you know with 6 lorries of cement total, you don't need any other sand? In terms of sand, you're finished. Just 6 lorries, you're finished. Which might take you, depending on where you're coming from. If it's the village where sand is 15,000 times 6, around 90k. And 90k, you are done with things like sand. So that's why it's small. Why, for example, even if it's just one kokoto. First of all, if you want to build a house, do not save this money. If you want, don't save money that you want to use to build a house. If you have to save it in terms of materials.
Let it be down there.
Yes.
Mr. Konji, what do you say about that?
Because when you can access that money,
Yes.
you will not build that house.
Yes.
Because let's say sickness comes in. You want to build a house, but sickness comes in. What will you do? You'll get that money. But if you have kokoto down here,
Yes.
no, whether that sickness come, you will explore option B.
You cannot take the kokoto.
You cannot take it.
Sure.
Yes.
So
But the kokoto is called ballast.
Yes.
Kokoto, yes.
And I usually tell people this. If a fridge is 150 million today, 150,000 shillings, you're told this fridge is 150,000 shillings, I want you to pay it now.
Yes.
You will not be able to afford it.
Exactly.
But if you're told this fridge is 150,000, but we want you to pay us 1,000 shillings per month for 10 years, you will pay it.
Yes.
Right? So the secret is to spread. You do the exact opposite. Instead of waiting for cumulative money,
Yes.
use with a short time,
Yes.
spread the duration.
Spread
When
the
you
duration.
spread the duration,
Yes.
you are likely not to feel it.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've seen people wanting to build mansions worth 5 million. Okay? And they're waiting for lump sum. They're waiting for one day, even artists, they're waiting for an endorsement
Yes.
so I can build a house. I'm waiting for that day when Safaricom will call me and give me 10 million. Then I'll take 5 million shillings and build a house. First of all, even with that mentality, when you get 10 million, you will not build that house. Now, you're waiting for Safaricom
Yes.
for 20 years. You don't get the 10 million.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But do you know that for 20 years, you might have touched 80 million?
Correct.
Small.
So the dream or the goal is to ensure it's by that 20 years, if you've touched 80 million, you should have done that project worth 5 million that you wanted to do.
Profound. Thank you so much, my brother. That is, you have dissected it, you have brought it down to earth such that everyone can get it. Because these things sometimes appear like mirage. You know, they appear like things which are in the clouds. They're not
Yes.
here with us. My brother Okonji, you're an expert in this area and you have interacted with the government, institutions, with the government itself. You've trained the high-end individuals in this country in the area of finances. You've trained companies on how they can come out of debt and so on and so forth. Now that YY mentioned artists,
Yes.
we've had this issue in our country and even outside the country where artists get to their peak seasons when they're making money, they're minting money left, right, center, and things are doing well. But sometimes we are disillusioned that this season will last. And so you find cases where at some point a situation comes in and an artist is begging for little money, as low as 100k or even 50,000 because they can't afford it. Which advice, which counsel would you give that can help people to sustain such situations so that even if the season is over, they can still have something to lay their hands on? Yes.
Wow. It's a great question you've asked.
Yes.
But before that, allow me to commend
Yes.
this conversation.
Yes.
Because these are the kind of conversations we need
Actually.
because of the practicality in it.
Exactly.
Because when YY shares about how that house happened, I've seen the house and congratulations. How that house happened, from a practical sense, someone is able to see, so myself, where I am with what I have, I'm able to actually probably achieve one or two of the dreams I'm waiting to
Exactly.
achieve.
Exactly.
on another thing, I like talking about what I call the realities of money. I have a reality of money that says there is no small money.
All right.
Okay? There are many people today who have been waiting, and they will work until retirement, waiting for big money to do something. And I came up with that reality after realizing that, after meeting people who would actually shed tears in class when they're nearing retirement and they're saying, Mwalimu, I wish I had this when I was young. I am nearing retirement and I don't even have a grass-thatched house to call my own. Why? They've been waiting for big money.
There is no small money.
There is no small money. And a story for another day,
Yes.
a story of a friend of mine who was able to build a house when he was earning a salary of 2,000 bob. I've put it on my YouTube channel. 2,000 bob, true story. I've traveled to see the house.
Let me face the skies. On that
2,000, and this is not a story of the 80s. When our parents told us they were earning 467 and we would feel a year for them.
Do we have Mjingo guys who have permanent houses?
Yes, all right?
But the artists who are making even 200,000 in a show.
Yes.
Per show.
So it's a question of focus, having your goals right, and then becoming deliberate, and then realizing that there are certain things that will kill your ability to get there. So you're talking about artists. You know, artists, the work of artists is like my business. Because my business also comes in seasons. So there's a season when things can just erupt, and then after that we can have a dry spell, even of another year. But then another season erupts that can cover the dry spell and things like those. Here is the thing. You must know what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Okay? Then you must also realize, being an artist and learning from others or even your own experiences, you've seen that this world of artists is not a straight line world. It's not like someone who is employed, that money is going to come every other month. So you have to ask yourself, how do I sustain myself? How do I organize my expenditure in such a way that when the season is dry, I have something happening? Now, two things come to the fore. One is preparing for those hard days when things are not coming in. So are you trying to set something aside to help you during the dry spell? Then there are other tactics you can use. There are things like shopping tactics, for example. When you've just gotten your lump sum, big amounts, are there things you can do? If you're still paying rent, is it possible that you can pay a couple of months because you don't know what will the next few months will look like? Then, if you are shopping for your house, for example, now you've seen the trajectory, prices are going up and things like that. So if you get money today, are you able to shop those things that you can shop to cover you for a couple of months or so? That will also help you. Then you have the capital expenditure items, like if you're thinking about a house like YY has mentioned, then you must have your strategy. Begin to see this house. Like he has said, you have to see it before it begins to happen. Once you have seen it, you start figuring out, what will I need to start? Because actually it might not be very practical to say we are saving money unless your paychecks come in millions, right? And then you decide, I'll be saving half a million. After 4 weeks, I have 3 million. After a short while, I have 5 million to construct. But it may not be practical for very many people to be able to save to get money to build a house. That brings in the question of, do you have the picture of what you are looking for? Are you able to figure out what it will take you to start? Because some things need you to start for them to fuel you, to work harder to see the completion. You get? Yes. If I remember the story of the 2000 Bob guy, the guy was working in Nairobi, by the way. The story of the 2000s, 2K. And that guy gave me a profound statement, because I interviewed him, and he told me, when I got this job, I agreed with my wife that our biggest problem is a house. And so we agreed that we will do whatever it takes to get a house. So when I got this job, 1,000 shillings we decided will be for our upkeep. The wife was in the village. The guy was here. He was accommodated at the employer's place. But still, 1,000 for survival for two people is not easy. And he had 2 children, young children in the village. So what he would do, the 1,000 he would share between himself and the wife. So if he sends 700, he survives on 3. If he sends 5, he survives on 5. Then the 1,000 is for the house. So he started buying materials, pole pole. So initially he would send money home for them to buy materials. Then he realized many times they would give him stories. Oh, you wanted us to buy mabati and nails. We only bought mabati. The money for nails, mtoto alikohoa, it was used. So the guy realized, then this way will not work. So the guy joined sort of a chama. That's where I met him. I had been called to train the chama. And he started using the chama as a savings and investment avenue. They were doing table banking. You know, very many people are in chamas, but they don't know why they're in chamas. There are very many people who are trapped in debt also, especially women, and the genesis of their trouble is the chamas, because they just join blindly. Some of them are members of 10 of them. If you look at what they contribute monthly, it's bigger than what they earn, and things like those ones. So what I'm saying is, you have to be deliberate. You have to decide that this is the project, and this is what I want to do to achieve it. All right? And you are the only one who knows what it is that you want to achieve.
Exactly.
I like saying, in the world of money, for you to go far, you must be willing, you must be ready, you must be bold enough to make unpopular decisions.
Unpopular decisions.
Yes, unpopular decisions are decisions that don't follow the wind. Now that you mentioned artists, we may have a tendency, a weakness of following the wind. This is the trend. This is what they are doing. I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to miss out. So I have to behave this way for them to know I've also arrived. Arrived where? Arrived where? So we must speak these things. And that's why people who earn in such kind of settings, it is not news for you to hear that many of them are trapped in debt.
Exactly.
Because when the season comes, we also erupt with the season.
Yes.
And so we spend with the season. Then when it is dry, yet we have elevated ourselves to that level. We want to belong. We want the world to see that this is who we are and where we are. So we start borrowing to sustain our lives there. That's how we get ourselves trapped in debt. And that becomes a serious problem. Be yourself. Stop comparing and competing with others. You don't know their story. Just be true to yourself. Yes.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much, my brother. Now, on this, as you conclude, YY, of the issue of artists, you're an artist yourself.
Yes.
And you've seen this happening left and center. People get to their peak seasons of finances, and all kinds of things happen, and everyone is down, depression comes in, and that person that was on top there, that you are admiring their life, is now becomes a son of reproach. What do you say, sir?
Number one, 90% of the time, I usually tell you that show me someone's downfall and I'll trace it to an addiction. I'll trace it to the alcohol, I'll trace it to the drugs, I'll trace it to something else. Either women or something, a fetish or something, you know. And if you look at most of the artists who are on top of the, I usually say that talent never dies.
Exactly.
People only lose direction. Your talent never died. You just stopped doing the same thing that you used to do that put you up there. What put you up there was that, you know, you were sober. You know, when you're sober, most of the time, you're likely to be present. When things are happening, you're present. You know, I'm not saying that people should not drink. You should drink if you want. But we cannot tell, we do not determine how extensive we might be when it comes to drinking. You don't tell if you're an addict or if you can't know. Because once you become, and the other day when we were having a discussion with you and we said, we cannot blame somebody that is already into their addiction. But you can blame somebody that is starting.
Yet they're seeing people.
You are seeing,
yes.
Okay? If you look this, nobody will ever come and make an acceptance speech and be like, first of all, for my success, I want to thank alcohol. Why not for alcohol? I wouldn't be where I am today. And I want to thank marijuana. I want to thank cocaine. Thank you so much, cocaine. Why not for cocaine? This house wouldn't be here. In most situations, it's the exact opposite. So already you have seen what is happening to people, and you still try the same. And alcoholism and lack of finances don't go together in the same page. Alcoholism and lack of finances. Me, I usually say pombe ni wadosi. That is why, more often than not, you will not see rich people drown into alcoholism ati inamuaffect maka. It is ule mwenye alikuwa nayo but ameisha. But somebody that can still sustain their drinking will not perish due to alcohol. They might only perish due to diseases that comes with that, diseases that comes with their habits, but not at hii alcohol imemwangusha, because they are still able to afford it. So as long as you're able to afford it, they will be able to sustain the good alcohols, the ones that don't have hangover, the ones that don't have side effects and everything, okay? So the only thing that I can tell artists is that it is possible.
it is possible. Ile tulikuwa nakwambia ya waiting for bulk money in a short time, the exact opposite. Little money over time.
Little money over time.
Little money over time, not a lot of money once. In the village we have people who mtu baka unaangalia hivi unaangalia kama akwangi sawa mentally. The people who are not even okay mentally, wafanya tu mjengo and they're not okay mentally, but they have a wife, they have a family, they have a structured house, and somebody is in the city making 10 times what that guy is making. They are sober, they have gone to school, they have graduated, they have a master, they have a diploma, they have an undergraduate, but they cannot make such decision. So to all the artists, stop waiting for Safaricom, stop waiting for that big corporate, stop waiting for an endorsement to do anything. The moment you are waiting for an endorsement to do anything, you don't belong, you're not cut from the tree of doing things.
Fantastic.
Well, you're not cut from that tree.
Yes.
My brothers, I can't really express my gratitude enough. Mr. Konji, in 1 minute, if you don't mind, kindly give a parting shot as we draw down the curtain.
Wow.
Oh, you already have your mic.
Thank you so much. Once again, that statement I gave was to be my parting shot. Let me say it afresh. For you to go far financially, you must be willing, you must be ready, you must be bold enough to make unpopular decisions. Don't do things to please anyone. Don't do things because everyone seems to be doing it. Don't do things because you fear being left behind. Don't do things to belong. Do things because you know why you are doing them. Do things because you know how they contribute to the value you want to be added to your life. It's as simple as that. It does not matter how much money you earn. And the last thing I will say, in the world of money, as long as you've not mastered how to manage your money, that which you think is little, it doesn't matter how much more you will ever get. Money will give you problems. It doesn't care who you are in society, the position you hold. You will still be trapped in debt, you will still struggle, as long as you've not taken a moment to appreciate how best to handle the money that you have. Thank you.
Wow, my brother, that is so profound. Thank you so much for that powerful insight. Yes, my brother, why? Kindly give a parting shot.
Once you start, you will finish. Once you start, you'll finish. But if you don't start, there's no guarantee. Whether you'll finish or whether you will ever do it.
Starting is the only way.
And even as he said the other time, that starting will give you. I was telling you the other day that this thing has become so addictive. I'm building the 4th house. I'm 30 years old now. I'm building the 4th house. Okay? And even on the 4th, I'm still thinking about mahali hapo nyuma nafanya yake ka structure hapa. It becomes addictive. Once you master the game, it becomes fun. So look for a way to make your finances fun to deal with.
Exactly.
Yes.
Look for a way to make your finances fun.
Yes.
In a way that is making it futuristic and all those. Guys, like I said before, this is the channel where you get nuggets that will take you through the terrains of life. This is Kelly Inspiration, and this program is called the Inspiration Hub. Until next time, please remember to subscribe and punch that bell so that you are able to get these videos as they come from. Thank you so much.
And don't buy such expensive suits if you want to build a mansion.
Anyway, who told you easy? Guys, thank you so much.